I clean poo on the floor when I have to clean. I am a registered nurse here in the UK, but I still work as a carer when my care home is short. If you're a nurse, if you're a carer, if you are a doctor, we are all providing care for people. That's the core of our job. Are you saying they were stooping low because they could not pass their OSCE? That is so wrong. This is a very intelligent nurse. Like, she's way smarter than I am when it comes to nursing. I give that to her.
NHS pass written there.
Hi guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name said it before. Hey, stop that. Hi friends and family, welcome once again. So someone on my Telegram page posted this write-up she saw on Facebook, and the write-up is basically discouraging nurses who want to come to the UK through the senior care visa route. And I'm going to read what the write-up says, and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents about it. I totally disagree with this write-up, and I'm going to tell you why. So I read, attention, attention, attention. All right, we are listening. Please, African nurses note. Okay. No doctor ever says that they will work as a nurse if they did not get the required band in academic IELTS exams or OET exams. That's very wrong. My gynecologist that looked after me when I was pregnant is an African doctor, right? One of them is an African doctor. And when he first came to the country, before he got his medical license to practice, he worked as a carer, not even a nurse, as a carer. This person is still alive, but obviously he might not agree to do a video with me to verify what I'm saying, but take it from me, he worked as a carer before finally working as a gynecologist here in the UK. So that is wrong. Don't say no doctor. That's very wrong. My fellow nurses should stop bringing themselves to the level of HCA due to exams that other nurses are passing. Is that not quackery? Okay. Why is a person trying to put down people that work as healthcare assistants or people that work as carers here in the UK? What is the person trying to make their job look like? It's not nice. Is this person trying to say that HCAs are low and that it's so bad for a nurse if you decide to work as a HCA? What makes their job degrading in any way? Is it because they're changing diapers? Is it because they're feeding the residents? My fellow nurses should stop bringing themselves to the level of HCA due to exams that other nurses are passing. Is that not quackery? First of all, honestly, I don't know what really quackery means. So let's Google what quackery means, okay? So word web. Okay. Quackery. Okay. It says medical practice and advised based on observation and experience in ignorance of scientific findings. I don't think that's what the person means. Okay, this one is the dishonesty of a charlatan. Charlatanism. How is this dishonesty? How is this dishonest? Like, I feel insulted, first of all, because I work as a senior carer. Sometimes when my care home is short of nurses, I pick a shift as a carer. I enjoy it. I love it. At the end of the day, although I get paid as a nurse because that's my role, but I work as a senior carer with all pride, and I love it. See, in England, it's possible for care assistants to become home managers, to manage an entire care home if they've done the right courses. So if healthcare assistants were that low, I don't think the CQC, which is in charge of regulating health and social care services in England, would agree for health assistants to manage care homes, and I'm sure they are doing it well. So there's nothing degrading about being a healthcare assistant in the UK. I change parts even when I'm working as a nurse. Sometimes I even tell the carers that I work with that, oh, when it's time to change room 2's part, I don't refer to them by their room numbers, but for the sake of this video, let me do that. Let me change room 2's part when it's time for part change, because I want to do the skin checks myself, probably because I just want to see it for myself and judge for myself and document my findings myself. I change parts, I clean poo on the floor when I have to clean. I can line some of the residents up on a weekend when there's not much to do in my diary, and I can cut their nails, style their hair, play with them. There's nothing degrading about being a healthcare assistant. There's nothing degrading. So I don't have any issue if you're a nurse and you want to come through this route because you're not passing the IELTS. What I'll say is that people think nurses coming through this route are lazy because they don't want to sit their asses down and pass the IELTS. That is the problem. If you're a nurse and then you've only written the IELTS once and you didn't get the required marks to be able to join the NMC register as a nurse, and because of that you've lost all hope and they want to come as a senior carer and then you don't want to even push, that I have a problem with you because you are just desperate to come to the UK. But if you've tried several times and then this is an opportunity, because another thing is that there's another way to prove your English proficiency by writing the OET, but some countries don't even have OET centers. They recently opened an OET center in Ghana, but it's computer based. How many people can use a computer to write a test? I mean, come on, think about it. If you're not comfortable and you just want to get to the UK and probably take the OET again or get to the UK and resit the IELTS, it's fine. That doesn't make you somebody who is lazy. When I first came to the UK, before I passed my OSCE, I was working as a senior carer, and I think I've already done a video where I was talking about how much I was earning as a senior carer, which is still on the channel. I'll leave the link here so you can watch. So before you pass your OSCE, you have to work as a band 4, or if it's in a care home, you have to work as a senior carer until you pass your OSCE and get your license. People had to do the band 4 role, or had to be in band 4, or had to work as senior carers for so long because they could not pass their OSCE. So for people who had to write OSCE 3 times, for people that had to pass OSCE after the 3rd attempt, that is maybe after being here for 8 months, they were working as senior carers or as band 4 nurses. Are you saying they were stooping low because they could not pass their OSCE? That is so wrong. And it is true that other nurses are passing. Myself, I did pass the IELTS at my very first try. But let me tell you this. There's this nurse I admire so much who wrote the IELTS with me on the same day, right? This is a very intelligent nurse. Like, she's way smarter than I am when it comes to nursing. I give that to her. She did not pass the IELTS, right? And I passed and I came. She eventually passed after writing a couple of times, and she's currently in the UK. Guess what? Like I said, she's so intelligent. When she got to the UK, she's currently working in the A&E at the hospital where at the trust where she is now, and she's agreed to come to the channel to share her IELTS failure story. So you guys should expect that soon. This lady, after a short while, she was awarded the best nurse at their department. Look at that. This is not somebody who is lazy. This is not somebody who is not smart. The fact that she wasn't passing the IELTS, or she didn't pass the IELTS at the first try, does not make her unintelligent. I am a registered nurse here in the UK, but I still work as a carer when my care home is short. And guess what? I love it. See, at the end of the day, if you're a nurse, if you're a carer, if you are a doctor, we are all providing care for people. That's the core of our job. Providing care for people who are ill, who are vulnerable, who cannot take care of themselves at a particular point. That is the basis of our work. That's the core of our work. You are not low as a nurse if you change parts. You are not low as a doctor if you change parts. It is only in certain countries like maybe Ghana where doctors are not expected to change parts because it's like low. No, here doctors can change parts. I was talking to this lady in NHS where she was comparing nursing or like healthcare in the UK to the country where she's from, and then she was saying that it shocks her that here doctors don't mind changing parts. That doesn't make you low as a doctor. No. What do you want to tell people who are HCAs in the UK? In my care home, we used to have a deputy manager that would come to work as a cleaner if the cleaner should fall sick. Although there are cons to this as well. There are cons to coming to this route. One of the cons maybe, once you sign a contract to come as a senior carer and your company has given you a COS to work as a senior carer, you start working in a care home or you start working in a private hospital, and then in the course of you working, you sit for the IELTS and this time around you pass, or you sit for the OET and this time around you pass, and you're able to join the NMC register, do your OSCE, and then you pass your OSCE as well and then get your license. Sometimes because you have signed a contract, let's say you were bonded for 3 years, you agreed to work for the company for 3 years, and then you signed this contract. Now let's say you pass your OSCE and your IELTS after being here for 1 year. You still have 2 years left to be with your employer because you signed the contract. But in the UK, they are so good that most of the time there's a clause when you want to leave. There's something that you have to do when you want to leave. For instance, my company I was working for, with my contract, although I'm not supposed to entirely spill out everything, let me just tell you a bit about my contract. If I was supposed to leave after working for my company for 6 months, there was an amount of money I was supposed to pay. For the sake of this video, let's say £3,000. If I worked for 1 year and I was leaving, that means I still had 2 years left, but I wanted to leave before finishing that remaining 2 years. There was, let's say, £2,000 for me to pay. It's just an example. So most of the time, there's something you have to pay if you're leaving before your contract ends. So before you sign that senior care contract, have a look at it, read it thoroughly, and see if in future, if you decide to leave, it's going to be easy for you. So those are the few things you have to put in mind. But this write-up saying that you are stooping low as a nurse to work as a carer is very bad, I think. Carers are not low at all. So for the write-up to say my fellow nurses should stop bringing themselves to the level of HCA due to exams that other nurses are passing is I don't agree with that. I just don't agree with that, because it's not like you're stooping low, and your case is different. Maybe you were fortunate to pass the IELTS or the OET at your first attempt. This IELTS exam is expensive. It's expensive. People are paying over £200 to sit for this exam, and then they have written 5 times and are not passing. And maybe they want to try the OET, but then there are no OET centers in their country, so they want to travel to the UK and try. And nobody knows when the senior carers and the nurse assistants are going to be taken off the shortage occupation list. So they just want to use this opportunity to enter the UK and then probably pass the OET. And then I don't think it's a dishonest means. Honestly, I do not think so. When I work as a carer, I enjoy it more because, one, I get a bit closer to the residents. I'm putting them to bed and then they are talking. They can now talk to me about how their day went, what they think about their condition, or blah, blah, blah. And that way, sometimes you even get to know them better. And then if you know somebody better, it helps you to give like the care unique to that person for them. You understand? Because when you're working as a nurse, sometimes there's so much paperwork and so many things to do in the diary that you don't get time to sit with the residents or with your patients to have a quick chat. Sometimes you can't do it and it's not your fault because there's no time. But if you're working as a carer, sometimes you get closer to this. So sometimes you realize that the carers do know the residents way better than the nurses. I remember there was the time I wanted to do agency, but I didn't want to do agency as a nurse. I wanted to do agency as a carer. So I joined an agency. I told them I wanted to join as a carer, and if they are nurse shift as well, because I'm a nurse. Then I realized that because I'm on the tier 2 visa, they said if you are taking a second job, the second job you are taking should have the same occupation code as the first job you are doing. So I couldn't work as a carer. You understand? I told the agency I want to do carer shifts when they have carer shifts, and I want to do nurse shifts as well. Does that make me low as a nurse? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. Prepare very well for academic IELTS exams or OET exams using the best textbooks and materials. That is a good point. Says prepare very well. Yes, you should prepare very well. Let me tell you, this nurse I was talking about that I wrote the IELTS exam with, and then she didn't pass at her first try. Every trick that I used to pass my IELTS exam, she taught me. She taught me. The fact that you have to use Cambridge materials or materials that have the IDP logo or British Council logo or Cambridge logo, she taught me all that. And I've shared this in my video about IELTS preparation, so you should check that out as well. And she did not pass. Some people are just not good with exams. That does not make them lazy if they decide to come as senior carers. No, you are fortunate. You passed yours. Okay, she doesn't have the money to resit again at the moment. Enroll in very good tutorial classes and prepare for the exams like your life depends on it, for it actually does. Your future and that of your progeny depends on your actions today. Please avoid shortcuts. This is another part I don't agree with. Please avoid shortcuts because in the long term they are very disastrous. This is not a shortcut, and this is why I think it's not a shortcut. This is even a longer cut, if there's a word like that, because now you are coming to work as a carer. Probably some agencies will require that you do all the care certificate courses, about 15 of them I think. That is not shortcuts. You're doing the care certificate courses, right? You're coming to the UK to work as a senior carer. You are actually taking the longer route to become a nurse, so it's not a shortcut at all. You're going to be working as a carer. You know very well you're a nurse and you have the knowledge, right? But you're not given the opportunity to work as a nurse you are. And then when you come to the UK and you try the OET again or you try the IELTS again, you could fail. And at the time you are still working as a carer, which can be demanding and very tiring or exhausting. So you be now be working as a carer and trying to pass the IELTS as well, or the OET. You're working and then you're still trying to pass the exam. That's going to be a bit difficult. So that makes this route not a shorter cut. When you finish and you pass your IELTS, you have to pass the CBT as well. If you've already written the CBT, God help you that by the time you are ready or by the time you pass the IELTS, the CBT has not expired. And then you have to write your OSCE while you're still working as a carer. And then you have to hope and pray you pass the OSCE, and then you finally get everything that you need to become a nurse in the UK. And then you finally join the NMC where you finally get your PIN as a nurse and practice as a nurse. And then you have to deal with leaving your signed contract, your senior carer contract, to get a job job as a nurse, see, it's actually the most difficult route to take if you want to become a nurse in the UK. So that is my 2 cents about it. Guys, if you do come to the UK, just try to push ahead. Don't be so comfortable as a senior carer and not want to push, because I know people that have been here, they are nurses back home, but they are currently working as senior carers, and then they've been here for 5 years, 6 years, and they are not pushing to pass the exam to become nurses. That you are not doing yourself good, right? Don't be complacent. Try to upgrade, because you're a nurse. You've gone to school to practice as a nurse. So when you come, as much as you are enjoying your senior carer job and the money that it's bringing you, try to push ahead to become a nurse and practice as a nurse here in the UK. Okay, so that's all I would say. If you're a pharmacist or laboratory scientist, when you do come, find a way. People have different routes of finally settling in the UK. Like I said, my gynecologist as a doctor worked as a carer, so there's nothing wrong with it. My deputy manager, who has been a nurse from before I was born, there's been a nurse from the UK from before I was born, can work as a cleaner when we don't have a cleaner. Cleans the toilet, cleans the rooms, cleans, and she does it so well and with joy. Personally, I can't do that, but I respect her for being able to do that. My current sister in charge, when we are short of carers and then he's coming to work as a carer, he doesn't even wear his nurse uniform. He wears the carer uniform. He enjoys it. He doesn't even come to the nurses station to find out what's happening with us today. He's just with the carers talking and enjoying his job. Like, I love that. He's Filipino. I give it to the Filipinos. Like, most of them, they are not shy of the jobs that they are doing. My deputy manager I was talking about as well, she's a Filipino. She will do the cleaner job with all happiness. Like, we are caring for people. Guys, don't let anybody discourage you if you want to use this means. Come, okay? All right, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about this, okay? Just let me know what you think about this, okay, in the comment section. Do not drag me in the comment section. Be nice. It's just my suggestion, it's just my opinion, okay? So thank you so much. Bye.